before disappearing. The incident
unblemished safety record. Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 vanished from radar on March 8, 2014, during a flight from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing, with 239 people on board. Despite extensive search efforts, the aircraft was not found, making it the costliest search in aviation history. 2 search operations, spanning years, failed to locate the plane. The cause of the disappearance remains unknown, with theories ranging from hypoxia events to hijacking. The official report was inconclusive, citing failures in air traffic control communication. Safety recommendations have since been implemented to prevent similar incidents, including improved locator beacons and extended recording times for flight data.
Malaysia Airlines Flight 370, a Boeing 777-200ER, vanished from radar on March 8, 2014, less than an hour after takeoff from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. Welcome to the place where you'll find your perfect accommodation. If you're the owner of a hotel, motel, or a similar establishment, don't hesitate to reach out for a potential collaboration. It deviated from its planned course, turning westward and crossing the Malay Peninsula before disappearing over the Andaman Sea. Despite searches, no conclusive evidence of the aircraft's whereabouts was found. Debris confirmed to be from Flight 370 washed ashore on African coastlines and Indian Ocean islands. Investigation efforts included a final report released by Malaysia in October 2017, but the cause of the disappearance remains unresolved. The incident led to improvements in aircraft tracking, prompted by criticism of the Malaysian government's handling of the situation.
Flight 370, operated by a Boeing 777-2H6ER with registration 9M, had a long history of service. It was the 404th Boeing 777 produced and was delivered to Malaysia Airlines in May 2002. The aircraft, powered by Rolls-Royce Trent 892 engines, could carry up to 282 passengers and had undergone routine maintenance checks, including a check in February 2014. Despite a minor incident in 2012, the plane had an otherwise unblemished safety record. The Boeing 777 model, introduced in 1994, had previously experienced only 7 other hull losses, indicating its strong safety performance in commercial aviation. All 12 crew members, comprising 2 pilots and 10 cabin crew, held Malaysian citizenship. The pilot leading the flight was Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah, aged 53 and hailing from Penang. Captain Shah commenced his career with Malaysia Airlines as a cadet pilot in 1981. Over the years, he progressed through various roles within the airline, culminating in his appointment as captain of Boeing 777-200 aircraft in 1998. Assisting him was First Officer Farik Abdul Hamid, aged 27, who joined Malaysia Airlines as a cadet pilot in 2007. Farik had garnered 2,763 flying hours and was undergoing training as a first officer for Boeing 777-200 aircraft at the time of Flight 370. Among the 227 passengers aboard, 153 were Chinese nationals, including a group of 19 artists accompanied by 6 family members and 4 staff, returning from a calligraphy exhibition in Kuala Lumpur. Malaysia accounted for 38 passengers, while the remaining travelers hailed from 12 different countries. Notably, 20 passengers, 12 from Malaysia and 8 from China, were employees of Freescale Semiconductor. Tzu Chi, an international Buddhist organization, promptly dispatched specially trained teams to Beijing and Malaysia to provide emotional support to the families of the passengers. Airline deployed its own team of caregivers and volunteers, covering the costs of transporting family members to Kuala Lumpur and offering them accommodation, medical care, and counseling. A total of 115 family members of the Chinese passengers opted to travel to Kuala Lumpur, while some others preferred to stay in China, citing concerns about feeling isolated in Malaysia.
Flight 370, scheduled for the early morning of Saturday, March 8, 2014, was a route from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, to Beijing, China. It was one of 2 daily flights operated by Malaysia Airlines between Kuala Lumpur International Airport and Beijing Capital International Airport. Departure was set for 0:35 local time, with an arrival time of 6:30 local time. The aircraft carried a total of 2 pilots, 10 cabin crew, 227 passengers, and 14,296 kilograms of cargo. The flight was planned to last 5 hours and 34 minutes, requiring an estimated 37,200 kilograms of jet fuel. This additional fuel enabled the possibility of diversion to alternate airports, such as Jinan Yaoqiang International Airport or Hangzhou Shaoshan International Airport, if necessary.
The aircraft's last communication occurred at 1:06 Malaysia time, transmitting an automated position report via the Aircraft Communications Addressing and Reporting System protocol. The final verbal contact with air traffic control took place at 1 hour 19 minutes and 30 seconds, with Captain Zahari acknowledging a transition from Lumpur radar to Ho Chi Minh ACC. Lumpur radar, Malaysian 370. Contact Ho Chi Minh 120.9. Good night. Flight 370 responds. Good night. Malaysian 370. Shortly after 1:30, the captain of another aircraft attempted to reach Flight 370's crew using the International Air Distress Frequency, passing on Vietnamese air traffic control's request to establish contact. Calls to Flight 370's cockpit at 2:39 and 7:13 went unanswered, although they were acknowledged by the aircraft satellite data unit. At 1:20 and 31 seconds Malaysia time, Flight 370 was observed passing the navigational waypoint Igari in the Gulf of Thailand, disappearing from radar shortly after. The loss of radar contact occurred simultaneously at both Kuala Lumpur and Ho Chi Minh ACC. The aircraft's transponder ceased functioning, leading to a lack of ADS-B data transmission. Analysis revealed Flight 370 maintained its assigned cruise altitude and speed before its disappearance. Later radar data showed the aircraft making erratic altitude changes while crossing the Malay Peninsula. The aircraft was last detected near the limits of Malaysian military radar at 2:22.
At 2:25 Malaysia time, the aircraft's satellite communication system transmitted a log-on request message, marking the first communication since the ACAR's transmission at 1:07. Satellite data unit on board responded to hourly status requests from Inmarsat, as well as 2 ground-to-aircraft telephone calls made at 2:39 and 7:13, both of which went unanswered by the cockpit. The final status request and acknowledgement from the aircraft occurred at 8:10, approximately 1 hour and 40 minutes after the flight's scheduled arrival time in Beijing. Subsequently, at 8 hours 19 minutes and 29 seconds, the aircraft initiated another log-on request, receiving a log-on acknowledgement message from the ground station at 8 hours 19 minutes and 37 seconds. The aircraft did not respond to a status request from Inmarsat at 9:15.
The news media documented various accounts of possible sightings of an aircraft resembling the missing Boeing 777. CNN reported multiple witnesses, including fishermen, an oil rig worker, and individuals on the Kuta Huvadu atoll in the Maldives, claiming to have seen the vanished airliner. One fisherman reported spotting an aircraft near Kota Baru's coast, while an oil rig worker reported observing a burning object in the sky. Additionally, Indonesian fishermen recounted witnessing an aircraft crash near the Malacca Straits. 3 months later, the Daily Telegraph disclosed a British woman's account of sighting an aircraft on fire while sailing in the Indian Ocean.